put into...
I subbed and I was enlightened by how much Kirby I learned.
Yeah.
But we don't got any Kirbys. We have pain and suffering ahead of us as Deadly Alliance's Jash face off against his crewmate Sinji and Projectiles Ahoy.
Indeed. What we're going to be seeing when those arrows come out, Sinji does opt to put the Psybe immediately in front of him, which allows him to heal, I believe, 3%.
It's where Sinji puts on his cleric hat and decides, hey, I like not losing health but gaining health.
Ooh. That was a little bit of tricky option from Jash, which allowed him to get a whole lot of percent on Sinji, and a little bit more right there as well.
I like it, and I say this every time that Sinji's brought to these type of countermeasures. If you know you're going to be fighting off against a Pac-Man, even semi-consistently, recognize how your character operates under the conditions of a fire hydrant being around or holding the bonus fruit.
Right.
Some characters have significantly better item play than the character that spawns their own items.
Right.
And sometimes just being able to put a hitbox onto fire hydrants and launch it at an unorthodox angle can flip the script on a Pac-Man player's zoning game.
And it's something I think you're going to see if Jash does have the lead, is that once he gets the opportunity rather to grab the fruit of Pac-Man, he is going to be running all the way away. Jash is definitely not one of those players to be afraid of running away at all from Pac-Man. He does have the key now. Didn't have the lead right there, but gets a full 15% onto Sinji to claim the lead right back. That fair into Sinji on the hydrant. Gonna send him all the way off the stage. Oh, and almost intercepted that pellet with a bomb. Definitely would have seen attempting to go for that right there.
I like how as soon as Jash sees that the fire hydrant is active, he changes up his playstyle to just going full aggro, pressing onto Sinji. He knows that that's his opportunity to really press because Toon Link can make such good use out of that one resource of Pac-Man's. But when it's not there, when it's not in a position where he can make the most of it, all the projectiles come out.
Right. Oh, it's just, he reacts so fast, so I'm not really sure what frame it comes out. No, it's pretty fast, which is why a lot of Pac-Man just do it on reaction. Ooh, and then up air. Wow, that'll take like allowing Sinji to take the lead after being down by quite a bit for about 30 or 40 seconds or so.
And if not for the smart invincibility, Jash would have caught himself right in the mix with the fire hydrant and trampoline combo.
And with key in hand, this is where Pac-Man obviously is at his most terrifying. Jash not afraid of him at all, though. Throws the key down. I do like that a lot. Rather than Z-dropping it downward, it means that Sinji can't recatch it.
Just stand still so the hero's shield can block the projectile.
Get out of here.
For those unaware, that shield and Link's also can just block things as long as you're not moving or running in a way that the character's animation takes the shield away.
And like that bomb is one of them. Toon Link cannot hold a bomb in hand while blocking with the healing shield.
Right. I believe the walking animation for both characters though does keep the hero's shield active.
Yes, it does.
So if you ever wanted to press into neutral and pretend that you're a Roman Centurion, there's your opportunity.
Yes, especially against Pac-Man, a character very well known for his projectile play. And Sinji doing an excellent job of showing it off right here, really not allowing Jash to come in. All these projectiles zoning him out almost completely. Especially the Hydrant has just been doing an excellent job of just... Oh! No, he stopped.
One of the strongest back throws in the game. Jash being able to just cross up Sinji real quick, take that stock. We haven't seen him go for many grabs, let alone execute a throw.
Right.
So that was nice and fresh. Bringing ourselves back into a square one situation with Jash having plenty of percentage built on.
Right, and Sinji going for a bit of a hard read right there. Only gets 9% on a punish though. So not too much of a bad trade for him. As long as he continues the amount of percent that he's been getting. The Melon, another phenomenal Z-drop option. Was trying to definitely throw it up and then combo into it. Jash not giving him the chance, however.
And simple jabs, just managing to keep Jash constantly pressured.
Yes, and Sinji knows exactly how much percent Jash was putting onto the hydrant right there. And then as soon as he knew that his own fair would be able to break the hydrant, immediately does it and forces Jash off the stage once more. Oh, the chops from Sinji. He's a god. He's a god.
I'm liking that.
So clean.
That's
Jash nodding in approval at his own crewmate. He's like, you're good at this game. You're real nice. And I can imagine we might be going... Ooh, I can imagine that we might be going to a stage like Final Destination again. I know that Jash is a big fan of that stage as well. Yeah. Oh, we go actually right to Lilac Cruise. We'll be seeing the... I'm actually kind of confused by this counter pick. I know that Pac-Man, again, as I mentioned earlier, does really well on this stage just because he does get those free item catches on the ledge rather than having to go off the stage.
Generally speaking, Lilat's unorthodox shaping to it due to the angled wings and low platforms in general helps zoning characters. Any character that really wants to sit with projectiles force an approach option where they would be forced to the very edge of a stage or hanging onto the ledge, constantly jumping off to keep their positioning. Lilat allows them much more room to maneuver themselves and much safely because their quote-unquote ledge sits at the two engines of the ship.
Well, which to me is why this counter pick is so bizarre, because we saw why Sinji was doing so well in that game is because his zoning game was just, I think, simply a little bit outclassing Jash's in a lot of situations. It's just like he was always just one step ahead in terms of keeping him out. However, right here, this looks like it is working out for Jash.
I also like the fact, as I mentioned, the low platforms. I feel like that might have been a more blunt reason for Jash to pick this stage. Up air will allow him to shark Sinji really well, and I'm just realizing that now.
There's a whole lot of shield damage, or I believe 15%. And then you're going to see Sinji abusing the tilt of Lilat to grab that Galaxian and have it in hand. This is a percent where a lot of combos come out, but throws it up. I think a little bit of a misinput from Sinji. Oh, and Jash, knowing that the Nair was coming right down onto that Hydrant, immediately up tilts after, and gets Sinji even more up in that percentage.
Arrow comes in, and the percentages are building very slowly on both sides, but a more clear lead sitting for Sinji. Or rather, in Jash's favor, I should say.
And you saw the water was about to push Sinji to cover the ledge with that down smash, but the water got caught by the tilt of Lilac and was unable to assist him in that scenario. And it is a double-edged sword a lot of the time, where Pac-Man can get fairly easy catches on the fruit as in comparison to usual. However, right here, the pressure with the fruit is phenomenal by Sinji, and he's going to get just enough percent to even up this game once more.
Quick up tilt from Jash, but he's not able to clean up the stock just yet. Constant trying to chase Sinji in his positioning, but Sinji doing a fantastic job just building up this wall, and just not really having the proper tools to break through this wall where Sinji is vulnerable.
Oh, that's going to be a stock, yeah. Just waited for the roll-in by Sinji, threw the bomb, and immediately fared it as he came up. Oh, and a key. Won't be killing just yet. Pac-Man obviously does struggle with that in the killing department. Definitely does have a lot of issues when it comes to killing outside of that key. And then when the key is not killing around 130, it can definitely pose a problem for Pac-Man.
No bomb in hand, but it's going to leave Jash prone to the apple coming in on him. He's going to survive at 139%. And Jash doing a whole lot of just bomb throwing, trying to approach from above. He knows that he can't really fight laterally against Pac-Man right now.
And the item catch, just going to throw it up. Does have to throw it up, but not in a position that I would have thought. And the apple just bounces.
That apple dip.
It's just like, I'm out of here.
You guys are crazy.
This Pac-Man tooling? We're 4 minutes into the game already. I don't want to be a part of this. And he's out of here. Oh, and Sinji throwing the key just in time was Jash. Just out of lag, was able to get out of there with that perfect shield.
Fairly certain these two have played time and time again.
Yes, being crewmates after all.
The matchup experience really showing in Jash's favor, but Sinji's not out of it just yet. Finally taking the stock off of Jash.
He rolled back that Hydrant still active due to the weird bounces of Lilat. Put in that position where it wouldn't have bounced as far as Sinji may have would have suspected.
That was a death trap right there. For those who aren't aware, whenever that trampoline is clipping through the stage on its red form, if you step onto that and enter the free fall animation, it will clip through the collision of the ship.
They passed that out?
No, they didn't. They tried. What they did is they did it for regular stages.
Right, but Lilat's tilt.
It's not even just Lilat's tilt. It's just that because you can place the trampoline so low to the ship, it doesn't, I guess, auto-correct the positioning. It's a very weird to describe, but just know that if you see a red platform on Lilat, be very aware of it.
Oh, and wow, what a catch and landing. He's been so good with that today. Down smash is such an unconventional option for Pac-Man. Oh, but a very conventional F smash by
Forward
Jash
smash
right
looking
there.
Very part of the course. Taking us into game 3 with game 2 falling in favor of Jash.
Now, I can't imagine that we'll see an FD ban from Jash, being that they did not strike to it game number 1, and we do not have DSR in effect here, as it were. So I can imagine that we might just see the run back to FD once more. Indeed, we are. So game number 3 here, Pac-Man versus Toon Link on FD. One more time, definitely a spot where Sinji was comfortable in that game number 1 after he took that first stock. But keep in mind, that was absolutely last hit on that first stock in that game number 1.
Right.
So really it may come to the point where the whole game is determined by who does take stock number 1.
Sinji looking a lot more proactive with his zoning right now. Trying to push onto Jash, very similar to how Jash was pushing onto Sinji in game 1.
Right. And the type of zoning that really does work, I think, the best for Pac-Man is when he does have those bursts of aggression. That was so fast. That was so fast.
That happened in an instant. Using the power pellets to block, picked up the power pellet to heal, and immediately into the dash attack so that he wasn't just sitting around waiting for Jash to put out another option.
Ooh. And Sinji, obviously, again, Pac-Man's poorest aspect in terms of his play is going to be that grab. Doesn't have a whole lot of options when it comes to going, like especially falling back to the ground, because Pac-Man is so slow in terms of his fall speed. Doesn't really have the option of a tomahawk at all. So, oh, and the bomb coming in clutch for Jash. Gets a tech. That's another one for Sinji.
Yeah, even if he's not getting set up for the kill situation, he's building up tons of damage on Jash right now. However, Jash has bonus fruit in hand.
Oh, and that the Hydrant doing almost 30% full to Sinji along with that down air.
And the wacky wind box out of down air, setting Sinji up very precariously, but he stays alive.
And this is a spot really where jacking up back with really one smash tag. Pac-Man, obviously, he's heavy, or I wouldn't say heavy, but right in the middle of those mid-weights, definitely can die to a rogue fair or a rogue F smash.
Even at that, we haven't seen Jash really approaching from the ground a lot. He's been doing a lot of short hop aerials, and I feel like that's really important to his pressure game because at any point he can just cross up with a grab.
And Jash has just been so close in terms of edge guarding Sinji's side Bs with his projectiles, but has barely missed out on it that last time, which potentially could have gotten him to stop. Oh, an apple out of hand, the RNG unfortunate for Jash after catching that, and it's going to come into effect for Sinji.
Sinji's going to make the time while Jash is busy respawning to go off stage, get Galaxy in
Oh,
there.
he almost got the grab. What was forced to put in the air was Jash, and he took a whole lot of percent, a full 48 to start off. And this is similar position to the game number 1. However, getting that stock a bit earlier was Jash.
Jash sitting at 48%. We still have half the clock alive for these players. It's looking like a pretty good situation for Jash right now. He just needs to keep staying mobile and in the air. All this aerial mobility from him is forcing a lot of Sinji's traps to be invalidated just off the fact that they don't cover that much space.
It's going to be a bomb into fair for Sinji. Jash being forced back to the ground once more. Sinji unable to catch it that time around. Oh, and the Hydrant actually pushing the bomb water, or pushing the bomb into him. Oh, it's going to be an active hitbox. He's going to throw it up.
Dangerous.
Yeah, that's a scary spot for Jash to be in. You don't know if he's going to grab the ledge before that melon is going to hit him.
A lot of pressure, but we see the boomerang at point blank leading into the up air. It's going to pressure Sinji, but it's not really going to do anything further than build up the damage.
Oh, that's a whole lot of shield pressure. Oh my goodness.
What shield?
He just barely whiffs that grab. The first grab I think we've seen this set that has connected. Another nair from Sinji. Going to put Jash at 131. Absolutely last hit right here. Toon Link has the ability definitely to kill this percent, maybe even simply with a fair at this point. But an up air, even with a bit of Misty Eye and all that rage, Jash still living.
expecting a roll back. He throws the apple to try and cover. But staying there, really helping Sinji right now. The tension's building at 150 for Jash.
When Jash didn't have time to get back into the ground, Sinji didn't look happy with that. He was like, you definitely could have lived that, my guy.
Yeah.
And in the end,